Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Hashim. In this video, an important topic, that is the agency relationship and cost. This is a theory concept which is frequently asked in this unit number 1, financial management. So far I have completed the meaning of the term financial management, goals, objectives, functions of finance manager, and how the financial management is related with other areas of management, then time value of money, risk return trade-off. All these topics already I have covered in the previous videos. So if you have not watched, I suggest you go to the playlist of my channel, select the subject financial management new. Watch all these videos because these are the basic introduction videos of this subject, financial management. Later on you can watch the other practical problems videos like capital budgeting, cost of capital, capital structure, cash management, receivable management, inventory management. All practical problems are there. But this is the first theoretical video. In examination, frequently 1 or 2 questions will be asked from this unit. So before starting the explanation of this agency, relationship and cost, take the screenshot of the points, then I'll explain every point. Now, the topic is the agency relationship in and costs. In sole trading firm, in partnership firm, and in cooperative society, what will happen? The owners and the managers are one and the same. The owners themselves will manage the organization. So there is no separation of ownership and management in case of sole trading concerns, or in case of partnership business, or in case of any society. But in case of public limited company, joint stock company, if the company is a large one, so naturally the owners are different from the managers. The ownership is on the part of one set of people, and the managers are another set of people who manage the business. So there is separation of ownership and management in public limited companies, joint stock companies. So instead they entrust, but in companies, particularly large public limited companies, owners are typically not actively managers. That means the owners will not take part in the conduct of the business. The owners cannot go and take the decision in the company. Owners are separate and management is separate. And instead they entrust the responsibility to professional managers. The owners, what they will do, they will appoint professional managers or directors. A board of directors is the management of a company. The company will function under the instructions, under the decisions of board of management. Who has appointed this board of management? The shareholders have appointed. So the company is in the hands of professional persons. They will take all the decisions of the company on behalf of shareholders. Now we can see there is agency relationship because the principal are the shareholders and the agents are the managers. That means managers have to perform on behalf of the shareholders. Now there are many reasons for the separation of ownership and management. Why? Why in companies the ownership and management will be different? There are many compelling reasons are there. The first reason, it is impractical for many owners to actively participate in management. See here, a joint stock company requires huge capital compared to sole trading or partnership. Such huge capital can be procured by issuing shares to the public, and the number of shares issued may run in lakhs and millions. That means millions of shareholders are there in a joint stock company. Can you imagine all the shareholders can come and take part in the conduct of the business? No, it is impractical. The owners cannot come to the company and take the decision and run the company. It is impractical. That is the reason why there is separation of ownership and management. Secondly, professional managers are qualified to run the business because of their technical expertise, experience, and personal traits. See here, some people will have born leadership qualities, traits. Some people are professionally highly experienced, highly qualified, expertise in a particular field. So these are professional people, they can manage a huge company. Otherwise, shareholder, the shareholders does not have so much of experience. They don't have those personal traits of leadership. So that is the reason why the management has been entrusted to professional people to take the decisions of the company. Thirdly, separation of ownership and management permits unrestricted change in owners through transfers of shares without affecting the operations of the company. Now, one point you remember, the shares are freely transferable from one person to another person in the secondary market. In the stock exchange, the shares can be transferred by one person to another person. So every day, so many changes are taking place in ownership. In ownership, without affecting the functioning of the company. The company's operation will not get affected due to the changes in the ownership. That also requires separation, because if there is an effect of change in ownership on the operations will get disturbed. So the ownership and management should be separate. The operations should not be affected due to the change in the ownership by transfer of shares from one person to another person. Given economic uncertainties, investors would like to hold a diversified portfolio of security. Such diversification is achievable only when ownership and management are specified. Now see here. Nowadays, due to economic development, no investor wants to invest all their funds in one company. They will make a portfolio. Diversification. That means a person, an investor, will purchase the shares of different companies. That means he is the holder or he is the owner of different companies. How he can be able to go and manage all the companies? It is not possible. That is the reason why there is separation of ownership and management. Now, while there are compelling reasons for ownership and management, a separated structure leads to possible conflict of interest between managers and shareholders. Many reasons are there why there is separation of ownership and management. Many reasons. But now what will happen? These two parties, that means the owners and managers, the interest of both the parties may conflict with each other. That means the owner's interests are different, whereas management interests are different. So two differents are conflicting with each other. Actually, the management or the managers are the agents who are acting on behalf of shareholder. So they have to take every action in favor of shareholder. So whichever action will give more benefit to shareholders, that action they should take. But in reality, what will happen? Sometimes a situation will arise where there is a conflict between their own personal interest and the interest of the shareholders. There lies the problem of agency. Now, the cost incurred by stockholder for minimizing agency problem and maximizing owner's wealth are called agency cost. This is very important. What are agency cost? The cost incurred by the stockholders in order to minimize the agency problem. What is the agency problem? The conflict between the interest of owners and the managers. That is the problem. To minimize that problem, some cost have to be incurred, and that cost is called agency cost. So stockholders incur this cost for maintaining a corporate governance structure. That means the company should be governed in a corporate manner. That is called corporate governance. So to maintain the corporate governance, some expenditure is to be incurred by the shareholders. That means by the company. Actually, company belongs to shareholders only. So when the company is incurring on behalf of shareholders, right? So the company is incurring the cost on managers to minimize the conflict. This corporate governance structure helps in observing the behavior of management. That means the expenditure incurred, corporate governance structure on expenditure incurred on corporate governance structure is to regulate the behavior of the management and regulates fraudulent activities. That means if there is a control on this on the powers of the management, then frauds will be minimized. So fraudulent activities will be minimized by incurring some cost called agency cost or management, and provides financial incentives to managers. Normally, one of the best motivator is the finance. That means by giving better bonuses, by giving perquisites, by giving incentives to the managers, then managers will, what they will do, they will make an alignment between their interest and the interest of the shareholders. Now, to mitigate the agency problem, that means mitigate means minimize. To minimize this agency problem, effective monitoring has to be done and appropriate incentives have to be offered. Two things are there. In order to minimize these agency problems, two actions are there. The first action is monitoring the activities of the management. Secondly, providing incentives to the management so that management is happy, management is satisfied, and management will understand what are their interests and what are the interests of the shareholders. Now, monitoring may be done by bonding managers. How we can monitor the activities of the management? The first thing is bonding of managers. That means the managers will have responsibilities, will have duties. So specifically it should be given what are the responsibility, what are the duties, how they are accountable. This type of bonding should be there to the managers. Secondly, by auditing financial statements. In India, it is statutory required that every company must get their financial statements audited by a chartered accountant, by an independent chartered accountant. So in this way, when the auditor gives a report, in that report, he has to specify how the corporate governance is structured, whether the management is doing all their activities according to the provisions. And thirdly, by limiting management discretion in certain areas. Management does not have unlimited power. They have limited power. So their discretion should be restricted in certain areas. For example, in a particular area, they cannot decide on their own for a particular, decision. In that case, the Companies Act has given that a shareholders meeting should be conducted. They have to take the, approval or a resolution has to be passed by the shareholders. Then only directors can take the decision. That means their activity is restricted. Now, and by reviewing the actions and performance of managers periodically and so on. Time to time, meetings should be conducted, and in that meeting, review of all the managerial activities should be done periodically. In this way, we can be able to mitigate the agency problems by incurring agency costs. Now, incentives may be offered. The first method of mitigating the agency problem is monitoring the management. Secondly is by providing incentives, by giving financial rewards to the management. In that case, management will become happy. The directors, managers are more than happy. They will think only from the point of view of shareholders. They will think that we are the agents. We have to perform on behalf of our principal, the principal of the shareholders. Now, incentives may be offered in the form of cash bonuses and perquisites. Perquisites are the non-monetary benefits given by a company to their employees, like providing a motor car, providing a rent-free accommodation, providing free credit card facility, all these many perquisites are being given by the company to the management, so that management are motivated and there will be balance between the interest of shareholders and managers that are linked to certain performance targets. That means bonus and perquisites are linked to their performance target. If they achieve the performance target, they will be given bonus, they will be given perquisites. Stock options that grant managers the right to purchase equity share at a certain price. Stock option means if they achieve a certain target, shares can be offered by the company to the managers or directors at a certain price. For example, in the market, the share price is going at 500 rupees. But according to the articles of association of the company says if the management performs to this much target, the directors will be allotted shares at a low price of 100 rupees. In the market, it is 500. But the company is giving stock option to the managers at a low price, that is 100 rupees. And performance shares given when certain goals are achieved, and so on. So these are the actions to be taken in order to minimize the agency problems by incurring agency costs. So this is the end of the discussion regarding the agency relationship and cost. Very frequently in examination they will ask a theory question regarding this agency relationship. So if you watch the video, if you are satisfied, then give a like to the video, share my channel among your friends, among your groups, so that more students can watch the video and enhance the knowledge. Share my channel, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. Inshallah, we'll continue the next topic in the next video.